take that. The devil works hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, are you ready? Coming to you live from the heart of the West Side, in San Antonio, Texas, Lupe Alsidez.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Lupe Alsidez. I am a Chicano from the west side of San Antonio, Texas. I don't know what happened with TikTok, but it said that I was live on another device, which is kind of bogus because I only have one device on right now. I am recording for my podcast, the Lupe Alsidez podcast. I'm recording it because I will be uploading the video to YouTube later on. I am on TikTok live, so I'm on TikTok. I'm recording it and recording for my podcast. So I'm going to be playing a little bit of music at the same time. This is protest music, which kind of is fitting to what's going on. So today is April the 14th, 2021, and I usually don't say the date, but I think the date is really relevant to what I want to talk about. A lot of police brutality, a lot of police killing people, not just recently, not in the past week, but in the past few decades, hundreds of years, it's been going on. So it's getting worse, and now because of social media and people with phones and all that, it's getting more publicized. So I was arguing with somebody today about Devontae Wright being shot by a cop, and he so hard tried to justify the fact that she felt like it was an accident, and we argued literally all day because I feel that cops should not be able to shoot an unarmed person regardless of what the crime is. When they got him off the car, he had his hands behind his back, no weapons in his hands. He tried to get away and got back in his car, and she shot him. So that's why I've been really upset about what's going on right now. So I figured I'd backtrack a little bit. I think it's important for a lot of people to know a lot of history that has been going on. A lot of people don't know this, but if you know how cops actually got started to enforce anti-slavery, anti-free man laws. So after slavery ended, all those slaves got to go free, right? Because slavery is over. You can't be a slave. You can't hold slaves, so they let all those slaves go. But the white man was like, well, this is bogus because, all those crops ain't going to pick themselves, and I sure as heck ain't going to pay nobody to pick them for me. So they had to devise a way to keep the people, the slaves, the newly free man, legally slaves. So what they did was they started passing all these vagrant laws, right? So if you used to be a slave, you used to live on the plantation, you used to live in your owner's barn, right? So all of a sudden you're free, you have no home, no money, no job, no place to go. So they started saying you can't do that. You can't be free. So they used that as a way to manipulate the slaves into being legally slaves. So if they passed a law saying you have to have a job, guess what happened? All these guys that just became free didn't have jobs. So they were forced by cops to work the plantation. So they had to keep doing the same thing even though they were free. So that's why a lot of people of color have a problem with cops, because it's literally meant to keep people of color down. That's one thing. So a lot of people have been complaining. It's like, well, why aren't brown people voicing their opinions and so active and all that stuff. And this is the thing. A lot of people say, well, the cops wouldn't harass you if you didn't do anything wrong. The cops wouldn't beat you up if you just did what they were told. But let's talk about stuff like the Zoot Suit riots. If any of you guys know about the Zoot Suit riots, did you guys know that the Zoot Suiters were the ones that were getting beat up by the sailors, and the Zoot Suiters were the ones who got arrested? Why? Because they were brown. Oh, so if you do nothing wrong, you won't go to jail? They got beat up. That was their crime. Being a victim of hatred, you deserve to get beat up and thrown in jail. So let's backtrack a few more years that a lot of people don't know Texas history. So a lot of people don't know Texas history. So you remember the movie with Penelope Cruz and Salma Hayek, and I keep forgetting to look it up what it's called. But a lot of people don't know that that was legit truth. That's what really happened. So the United States tried to acquire Texas, right? Mexico said, check it out. We'll let you guys live here, but you have to follow our rules. The white man was like, no, we don't have to follow nobody's rules. I want that piece of property right there. So they would go up to the Mexicanos ranch and say, hey, this is my property, get off. And the Mexicano would be like, no, we've been here for like 10,000 years. We don't have to go anywhere. Well, I have a piece of paper that says this is my property now. And guess who helped them enforce their bogus laws and rules? The Texas Rangers. The people that everybody in Texas prides so much and worships so much. Texas Rangers. And you wonder why old Mexicanos have a problem with cops. So, that just debunks your theory of if you don't do nothing wrong, you won't get pulled over. If you don't do nothing wrong, they won't beat you up. If you just do what you're told, they won't taser you and shoot you. Okay, so let's get back on track. So, like I said, a lot of people are saying, well, why don't brown people speak up? Those are the exact same people that should be asking themselves that question. Why aren't you speaking up? A lot of people are so quick to go on social media and say, oh, Black Lives Matter, that's all I hear. What about brown people? Okay, what about brown people? Why aren't you guys saying anything? Why aren't you guys doing anything besides complaining about it? Where's the Chicanismo from the Chicano movement, where there was so much protesting, sit-ins, walkouts, because you're not happy with the way things are, instead of just complaining about it? But you know what? And I've said this before. Part of the problem is that there's so many people. I mean, I'm sorry to offend anybody, but you're delusional if you think that this is a white man's world and that we have to do what the white man says. Oh, just keep your head down and be a good little law-abiding citizen and just do what the white man tells you. Don't make them mad. Don't make them mad. Don't offend them. Don't make eye contact. Just make sure that the white man is always happy. That's bullshit, because we are citizens of this country too. And I'm not even gonna go on that we were here first thing, because we are citizens just as much as them. So, as far as offending anybody or making anybody upset, I'm throwing that out the window. Because if you're really afraid of white people getting mad at you, then that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem, that people think that we have to be obedient and just do what people say. And here's another thing. I bet you a lot of people don't even know what the laws actually say. I bet you a lot of people don't even know that some of the stuff that you can get pulled over and arrested for, I bet you a lot of people don't even know. And back to Jim Crow, those things were set into place to keep people of color down. That's why it's so important to stop being so domicile and so scared. Stop being so timid. Stop thinking that because we're not about violence and all this stuff that we have to be quiet, because we don't. And like I said last year during Black Lives Matter, protesting does not mean beating people up and setting things on fire. If you think that's what protesting is, you're very, very misinformed, because it's not. You can, just like Cesar Chavez, you can protest without even causing a lot of problems. Look at Gandhi. He's the one that believed in quiet protest. Just sit down. We're protesting. Hold up a sign. You don't even have to make up noise. Just sit there with your sign. This is what I'm protesting. We need to stop thinking that this is the white man's world, so we can't make the white man upset. We can't hurt the white man's feelings, because this is all our world. It's not just one person's. It's not just the rich and powerful. It's not. Because if it wasn't for us, they wouldn't be rich and powerful. Okay, so a lot of people got mad because they started talking about defunding the police. If you don't know what defunding the police, and if you think that defunding the police means that they're going to do away with the police, you're part of the problem, because you need to get informed of what that actually entails. See, a lot of these cops are poorly trained, and I still argue that they should make some kind of test, right? Some kind of check-in when you first start going to work. If you have any kind of weapons on you, like cops, they have tear gas, pepper spray, tasers, guns, billy clubs. Some of them have dogs. Then you should have to pass some kind of psychological evaluation. How are you feeling today? Are you having a bad day? Are you in a bad mood? Then you don't need to go out there with your weapons harassing people, putting people's lives in danger. You just don't. My friend and I were talking about how cops like that, they get under stress. That's understandable. They should be able to talk to somebody about these problems. They need to figure out ways to handle their stress instead of taking it out on people. But they should also have some kind of rotation, right? Where they're not always exposed to that level of stress, where they're always harassing people. This is another reason I have a problem with cops, because where I live at, there's a lot of homeless. There's a park really close to my house, and they're always harassing the homeless. If they had a home, they wouldn't be homeless. So there's no reason for them to be harassing the homeless when their crime is not having a home. They shouldn't be harassing them, giving them a hard time because they have nowhere to go. Especially when I walk by them and they're just sitting there doing nothing but being homeless. So this whole theory of guilty until proven innocent, that's bullshit. Because just like Duante Wright got shot because he had warrants, that cop was not in the right to shoot him just because she thought he was guilty. For all she knew, he could have been falsely accused. But since she's a cop, she has the right to shoot somebody. Where's his due process? Where's his right to trial? Why does it automatically have to be guilty even before he's gotten a chance to go to court or even jail? Why do you have to die? And the whole thing with me is, a lot of these people that have been shot, the majority of the people that have been shot have been unarmed. Unarmed. One guy got the taser away from the cops, so they shot him. Shot him with the gun. He had a taser. They shot him with the gun. And you think that it's okay? Whether he was guilty or not, it's okay to shoot an unarmed person? You're part of the problem. This is the thing. A lot of people have the wrong mentality. You think that just because somebody goes to jail, they're automatically guilty. You think that because somebody has warrants, they deserve to get harassed by the cops. They deserve to get tasered. They deserve to get pepper sprayed. They deserve to get beat up. They deserve to get shot. If you have that kind of mentality, you're part of the problem. And the fact that you don't see that, that's part of the problem. It really is. Supposedly, a lot of places have outlawed racial profiling, right? But yet, the majority of people of color are still, the majority of the people that get pulled over are still people of color, right? And you want to talk about there's no such thing as racial profiling? Let me tell you a story. And this is why I've always had a problem with cops. You just have a problem with cops because you have a criminal record. No. It started way before. So, my cousin came from California, and he was visiting. There was 3 of us, and let's go cruising, right? Because that's what we do on the weekends. We go cruising. Beautiful city. We want to go see the city. Just drive around, right? So we're driving around. Woo! Pull the fuck over. 3 beaners in the car. There's too many beaners in the car. Pull the fuck over. Excuse me. So the entire time, the cop is harassing my cousin. And I've had one cop telling me this. What, you don't think because I have a badge I deserve some kind of respect? No, fucker, I'm from the hood. You have to earn respect around here. You don't automatically just get it because you wear a uniform. Guess what? The UPS guy, he wears a uniform too. I have more respect for the UPS guy than I do for a cop that's pulling me over just because there's 3 beaners in the car. And the entire time, right? He's just giving my cousin a hard time. Why? Because we're 3 beaners in the car. Did nothing wrong. He wasn't speeding. He didn't change lanes without signaling. He didn't run a stop sign. He didn't run a red light. He just pulled us over because we were 3 beaners in a car. Where's your argument there? Oh, you won't get pulled over if you don't do nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong that day. We still got pulled over. So, racial profiling needs to stop. Cops need to stop harassing people of color just because they're people of color. Whether you're in a high crime area or not. You should be able to run freely just like white people do. Just like rich people do. If I want to drive around town at 4 o'clock in the morning, that's my right to do so. If I want to drive around at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's my right to do so. I should not get pulled over because I'm in the wrong side of town. And like I said a few minutes ago, cops are so quick to pull their gun, right? They're so quick to pull their gun. The big problem with this chick was she claims to have pulled her taser. She thought it was a taser. She yelled taser, 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 but still had her hand on her gun and shot this kid that was unarmed, right? It says on an article that I read on CNN that the taser is on this side, but she reached for this side, right? Why? Because it's a lot easier to pull a gun and shoot somebody than it is to tase them. Especially if you think they're guilty. Right? They deserve to die because they're guilty. Since it's your job to figure out if they're guilty or not, no, your job is to arrest them and let the court decide whether they're guilty or not. But my problem is that these cops are so quick to pull their guns. Why? Look at that army officer that got pulled over in the SUV. Both cops had their guns drawn. He had his hands out the window. They had their guns drawn on him for an expired tag that was displayed, right? They figured since I can't see it, Oh, there it is. Never mind, bro. We saw your tag. You're good to go. No, no. They were quick to pull their guns and harass this guy. I've had people so, so, so desperately try to protect cops, right? To argue that they have the right to draw their guns because they need to feel safe. You have a bulletproof vest, fucker. If you don't feel safe, then you need to go somewhere else. You need to go be a mailman or some shit. Because if you don't feel safe for the job that you signed up for, then you don't need to do that job. Why is it that they're so quick to draw their guns? Oh, I have a drunk driver. Let me pull my gun. Oh, you ran a stop sign. Let me draw my gun. Oh, there's 4 of y'all in the car, and all you did was speed. So let me draw my gun. And you want to defend these fuckers? And you wonder why I get so upset because they shot somebody? Oh, it was an accident. They didn't mean to. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that those black people and brown people didn't mean to be brown or black either. Why is it such a bad thing to be a person of color that these cops automatically draw their guns on you? So here's another story, so you'll understand why I have a problem with cops. So I was at a bar one time, downtown, which there's a lot of cops downtown. So I'm at a bar, and this female gets kicked out for whatever reason. I don't even remember why she got kicked out, but she got kicked out. So the cop goes to subdue her, right? Because he wants to arrest her. She resists arrest. So this MFer struggles. I kid you not, you guys. She was about a good 5-6 inches shorter than him. He couldn't handle her. He couldn't handle her. So after about 10 minutes of wrestling with this female on the ground, he finally gets her handcuffed. Because she embarrassed him, he punches her while she's laying on the ground with handcuffs on. This is why I have a problem with it. Because you're in a position of law enforcement. You're not a regular person. When you put that badge on, you're supposed to respect and obey the law, just like everybody else. Your job is to protect and serve. Your job is to enforce the law. You're not above the law because you're a cop. A lot of these cops run around thinking that they're above the law. You're not. You're not, fucker. If you don't believe me, look at all these assholes getting arrested. This POS that got arrested for beating up some chick. So not only are you supposed to be some kind of person that the society deems respectful, you're supposed to act like it, right? Hitting somebody while they're on the ground because you couldn't subdue them after you handcuffed them, that's a pussy ass move, dude. That's a pussy ass move. Straight up. Because you are not man enough to do your job right. And I think that's part of the reason why the lady cop got mad, because he punked her. He punked her by getting away from her. She already had him turned around with his hands behind his back, but she wasn't a good enough of a cop to subdue him and handcuff him. So she got mad and embarrassed because he got away from her. That's not cause for him to die because of that. And my biggest argument, you guys, my biggest argument is that people of color deserve to be treated equally in this country. Whether you break the law or not, we all deserve to be treated equally. You want to know? You want some proof? So I picked up, when I used to do Uber last year, I picked up this female, and she was telling me, oh yeah, my brother is always getting in trouble for DUI, so he's always calling me to go pick him up. You know, one time he got pulled over by the cops. The cops told him, you need to call somebody to pick you up. Right there, that's straight up bullshit, dude. That's like beyond favoritism. That's beyond white privilege. That motherfucker should have been locked up right then and there on the spot. He should not have been allowed to go home. He was drinking and driving. He could have killed somebody. But instead of punishing him, they reward him by telling him, hey, I'm gonna let you go home, see if you can do it again. Alright? Bullshit, man. That's bullshit. I read a story last year during Black Lives Matter where a professor was walking down the street and he was harassed by the cops. All he was doing was walking down the street to get something to eat for breakfast before he went to work. And they're harassing him. If you don't do nothing wrong, you won't get pulled over. Be like the great white hope and don't do nothing wrong. Be a law-abiding citizen. His crime was being a black person in public. He got harassed by the cops. All he did wrong was try to go get something to eat while being black. You're going to start telling us that people of color can't wear hoodies? We can't wear beanies? You've seen how people of color were being harassed for wearing masks in the stores, even though that was the mandate last year. But because we're people of color, we can't do that. Only white people can. This is the thing. We should not have different laws for blacks, browns, and whites. They should all be the same. All the rules, all the laws should be equal to everybody. Just like our treatment. You want to know why Black Lives Matter is so important? Because we all deserve equal rights and equal treatment. We all deserve it. We're all citizens of this country. We're all living here under the same God. But we don't all get treated the same. That's what's wrong. That's what needs to change. And the thing is, you guys, when I say white people, I don't mean all white people, because not all white people are racist, not all white people are ignorant, and not all white people hate people of color. Just like when I say people of color, I don't mean all people of color, because not all people of color believe the same things we do. They don't believe that we're mistreated. They don't believe that we deserve equal rights. You just need to work harder. You just need to work harder, and you'll get there, and you'll get there. Work harder and keep your nose to the grindstone. How can you do that when the system is set up to keep us down? It's not set up the same. It's not. And if you think like that the sad part is that you're part of the problem. If you're one of these Trump supporting Latinos or African Americans, you're part of the problem. Not all people of color think the way we do. And you want to know, people ask me, why aren't Latinos out there? Latino lives matter, Latino lives matter. Do you know why? Because a lot of Latinos think they're white. A lot of Latinos think that because they have money, that they're better than you. And there's too many brown people that cannot support and love each other the way black people do. Here's proof. Here's proof. I love when I see black people that don't know each other in public. The awesomest thing you'll ever see, dude. They say what's up to each other. Even though they don't know each other. What's up, man? How's it going, bro? I'm like, holy shit. You can feel the fucking love. Strangers, they don't even know each other and they say hello to each other. You know what happens when Latinos see me in public? They grab their purses tighter. They grab their daughters and their wives closer. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm kidding? I could tell you stories, man. I could tell you stories. Even within our own people. And I don't call them my people because they're not my people. I'm not related to those kinds of people. But people who call themselves Hispanics, Mexicans, and Latinos. You don't believe me? You need to get out more because I see it all the time. all the time. Look at TikTok. I blocked thousands of Hispanic surnamed people because they've attacked me. Just yesterday. If you're speaking English, and I speak English in the majority of my videos, but you're attacking me because you have an Hispanic surname, and instead of being on my side, you think it's better for you to attack me? You think it makes you look better and feel better about yourself by attacking your own kind? That's why Raza will never reach the levels that we should, because there's too many brown people that have so much hate in their hearts. They do. They do. We can't support each other. We can't love each other. We can't uplift each other. We can't even be there for each other. Everybody's complaining about these kids in cages. Where's the demonstrations? Where's the rioting? Nowhere. Because nobody gives a fuck enough to do something about it except complain online. I'll just tweet. I'll just make a video. And that's all that happens. Nobody does anything about it. Because we don't care about our own kind enough to be there for each other, to try to lift each other up the way African Americans do. If that offends you, sorry, but I see it all the damn time. I think it's a beautiful thing when I see black people that don't know each other. They see each other in public. They greet each other. They literally greet each other without even knowing each other. I'm like, whoa, that is beyond awesome. You see two beaners see each other. They don't even want you to say hi to them. I try to say hi to people at the park and so that's pretty much all I have to say. That was a good 30 minutes or so. I have time, so if you guys are interested in making questions, comments, remarks, now is the time to let me know what you guys think about what I said. I will read your comments because, like I said, I'm recording for the podcast. I don't know what that is. If you want to talk to me, you have to spell out what you're saying because I don't know what all that stuff is saying. People are just saying Viva la Raza and good talk. Thank you, I appreciate it. Like I said, this is stuff that I believe in. You know, La Raza needs to be united, but it's not. That's the sad part. It's not. One of the things that's problematic is that Latinos come in all shades of color, right? There's Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicanos, Mexicans, South Americans, Americans, but we can't just get along. There's so much I'm better than you that we can't just be like that. I've said it before, I'm gonna say it one more time. If people could stop being so ignorant and I'm better than you, and we did this shit, we'd be the most powerful people in the entire planet. Not just in the United States, in the entire planet. Do your research. How many Latinos in the world? And I bet you we make up the majority of the planet. The majority of the planet, not just the United States. Because remember, back in the days, all Mexican Americans congregated in the Southwest. Now we're all over the place. But people want to be like that. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I don't want to be associated with your kind because I'm better than you. Could you imagine if we took our heads out of our asses and stopped acting stupid and just said, fuck it, we're going to join forces so that we could do better for our people? We would be like that. You know that analogy about the matches? You take one, Mexicans, but if you take all Latinos together, we'd be unstoppable. This world would be a whole different place. And you want to talk about problems with immigration and third world countries having problems? Our people would be more concerned about our own people. Not just on the border, not just the immigrants, not just the illegal immigrants, but everywhere. everywhere there's Latinos, we would do more for our own people than anybody else is trying to do. Think about that. Think about that. Don't believe me? Talk to your people about it. Talk to your family, talk to your friends. Why can't we just get along? Because we're better than Puerto Ricans? Because Puerto Ricans think they're better than Dominicanos? Because Dominicanos think they're better than Cubans? Like I said, this is just my narrow-minded, biased opinion. I've been thinking about this all day since I woke up. I probably dreamt about it. I'm not really sure, but I've been thinking about it all day. And then Bob also for Trump really pissed me off all day, talking stuff, trying so hard to defend the cop that shot this kid. And like I said, my argument is that whether he was guilty or not, whether he had warrants or not, whatever his crime was, he didn't have a gun. He didn't deserve to die. He didn't deserve to be shot. So you're gonna sit there and say that because he had warrants, he deserved to be shot, he deserved to die? No, that's not how it works. Because I bet you, if a black cop pulled over a guilty white man and he shot him, oh, there would be so much animosity towards that black cop. Well, there's an analogy of why Mexicanos can't come up, because it's like when you put the crabs in the bucket, that once one tries to get out, the other ones pull them down. I've never understood why we can't just uplift each other and be there for each other and just be supportive of each other the way black people are. Look at all the black-owned businesses that get supported by their own kind. Like I've said before, you guys should be supporting your local businesses, local small businesses that are in your neighborhood, especially like right here, Mexican. It's not Mexican, but Mexicans work there. Mexicans work here. My barber, Mexicano, from the hood, and I've been going to him since high school. It's pure ignorance. It's pure ignorance. And the funny thing is, I get attacked for trying to shed light on things and trying to educate people. I get attacked for it. So shame on me for trying to make people less ignorant, right? So people are saying on TikTok that a lot of it has to do with pride. I think a lot of it's just pure ignorance, but that stems from that. There's not a lot of community within the raza. People are so self-serving that they don't really try to help each other out that much. I just can't. I just can't. But it's an excuse because you'd rather be self-serving than help somebody out. Excuse me. But yeah, I've always, since high school, I've always believed in supporting brown businesses, especially small businesses. I'll tell you guys a story. I've said this before, but when I was in high school, Cesar Chavez went to my high school, and they did a whole thing. And the one message that has always stuck with me was, one of the speakers said, always support your local business. Wherever you live at, all those businesses within your barrio, support your barrio businesses because they need your support. Fast food chains don't need your support. Big business does not need your money. It's the people that live in your community. Because guess what? When it comes to like taxes and them giving back that money, it's going to stay within their community. You think that whoever owns that Whataburger right there is doing a lot for this neighborhood? No. Because I can almost guarantee you that they don't live in the area. But they know that brown people love burgers, so they're going to set up there's 1, 2, 3, 4 burger joints just within the 4-block area right here. Burger King, nope. There's A&W, Burger King, McDonald's, Whataburger, Jack in the Box. Five hamburger fast food restaurants in this area, and they're all fast food. So you know they don't necessarily live in the area. I mean, yeah, they provide jobs for the people that live close by, but they're not spending a lot of money trying to make this area better and support the local people. So, you know, um, it's sad to see, and that's another reason that I'm so anti fast food, you guys, because all you're doing is supporting big business. And trust me when I tell you that McDonald's does not need your money. They don't. They will not. They will not go out of business if you stop buying burgers and go eat some freaking tacos, like a good beaner should. But the biggest message that stuck with me that day was support your local business. You know, stay in your area. Why do you need to go to the white neighborhoods, to the rich areas, and give them your money? When all you're doing is helping rich people get richer. It doesn't make sense to me. Instead of buying tacos from the taqueria right here, I'm gonna go to Stone Oak and have a nice steak. So I can help that $50 a steak place get richer. I think it's funny. I really do, you guys. And it's okay if you hate on me because I'm attacking people that do that. But I think it's ridiculous to give rich businesses your money. So, any questions, comments, or remarks before we sign off on the podcast? It's been almost 45 minutes. The topic was mainly cops and the way cops have evolved, but they're still being utilized to keep people of color down. And there's a good book that I read for my graduate paper, and it's called The New Jim Crow, and it talks about certain rules and laws have been put into place, systems of oppression to keep people of color down. You don't believe me? I said this last year, but could you imagine all the people of color that are in jail and in prison, right? They don't get to vote because they're locked up. So could you imagine how much of an impact those votes make? Why do you think the system is set up to keep us locked up? It wasn't until a few years ago that I got my voting rights back, but I couldn't vote for a while. So yeah, it's the new Jim Crow. You don't believe me? Look it up. Like I've said before, you don't have to believe me. I've done my research. You can do your own. Like I said, Texas Rangers, what they did here in Texas, Zoot Suit riots, Operation Wetback, things like that. The creation of cops during the Emancipation era. It's not just people of color's paranoia. It's not just our paranoia that the cops are out to get us. They're out to get us. They're out to keep us in our place, which is down. Our place is not to come up. That's why do you think it's such a big deal when a person of color does come up? Because they beat the system. That's why I tell you guys, it's so important for you guys to get your kids into politics. Send them to school. Yes, it's important for our kids to go to school because that's part of their system. That's part of their system. That's how they keep their high-paying jobs and they keep you guys down here. Yeah, and that's part of the whole Jim Crow thing that prisons, the prison system has been privatized, and it's a business. It's a business. And part of the research that I was doing was, I don't know if people know this, but a lot of times, if you're terminally ill, they won't send you to prison because they have to take care of you. they can't afford that kind of bullshit. So if you have any kind of like terminal illness or like a serious illness that requires a lot of medication or doctor care, you won't go to prison, or you won't go to a nice prison. You'll go to more like a state-run prison where they don't have to worry about taking care of you and stuff. So, if nobody has any more questions, comments, remarks regarding my podcast, I'm going to sign off on the podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, my name is Lupe Alsidez, Chicano from the west side of San Antonio. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I will see you guys next time.